You know, and I'm a writer, and I was thinking about the character arcs of three prominent white men in this country. I was thinking about the character arc of Donald Trump, Bernard Sanders, and Joseph Biden. And they are, they're very similar, right? They're about the same age, same generation, born in brutal, awful, racist society, and segregation, Jim Crow. They know all that. They know the civil rights movement. They know the progress of women and the gay community. They know all that, right? But the archetype of Donald Trump, he's archetype, but the arc of Donald Trump, he is the same he was the day he was born to his racist mammy and clan daddy. He has no character arc. But if you're reading his story, you go, man, this guy's a change. He's a boring character. There's nothing deep about him. He's a moron. He has no morals, and he's just a lying cheat. He's just a lying cheat, right? There's nothing to him. There's no substance. And then you have Bernard Sanders. You go, well, there is a character arc there. And the arc is, but it's incomplete. There is some interest there, but it's incomplete because he's still steeped in racism and misogyny. He just changed his language to the modern day language. Oh, it's just classism. Everything is classism, as if wealthy black people can't and don't experience racism in this country. And he refuses to listen. And so you look at him as a character, you go, well, is he an antagonist or protagonist? You go, yes, he's both. Because to disaffected and angry white people, especially white men and boys, who want to yell at their daddies like Trump, Bernard Sanders is your guy. And then you have Joseph Biden. His character arc is actually an arc. Just like the other two, born in segregation, Jim Crow, racism, civil rights, the women's movement, the gay rights movement, all that, and reached a point where he could accept being number two to a black man for 8 years and still have some friction. Like, didn't lose himself. It's okay to be a mentor to someone who works for you. And Joseph Biden was a type of mentor to Barack Obama. And they had friction. That's why people begin upset now over Barack and Joe. They had friction the moment Biden or Obama asked him to be vice president. And that's what you want. You don't want yes man. They fought all the time in the White House. And that's okay. Yeah, and then he went so far, and then he elevated a black woman. And let me tell you something. I've written about this, that we are taught that the great divide, the great friction in this country is between white men and black men. Most of the stories, the news stories, the books, magazines, what you learn in school and all this kind of stuff, what scholars study, is because we're so deep in our patriarchy here, is centered on the friction between white men and black men. But I am of the belief that the great divide in this country is those who have the most power, white men, and those who have the least power, black women. And the more that divide can be bridged, shortened, addressed, the sooner and greater the healing of this nation would be. Because black women birthed two nations. Birthed and raised two nations. They birthed and raised black people. They birthed and raised mixed babies born out of the atrocities of enslavement. And then they nursed and raised white kids. I guess that's three, not even two, it's three. So the founding mothers of this nation are black women. And that's the big divide. And so then you have Joseph Biden's character arc coming all the way around to, you know what, I'm going to elevate a black woman. The radicalness of that act, and that he won with the most votes ever. And then he said, you know what, that's who I'm going to put my support behind. Now you got all these 2020 hindsight people saying, how did that all come about? Her being the nominee, and all saying that somehow she manipulated things. As a black woman, man, okay, forget all that. President Biden showed white people what a white male character arc should be in this country. Born in segregation, Jim Crow, racism, civil rights, women's movement, and the gay rights movement, and reached a point to be a tough, successful number two to a black man, and then go further and elevate a black woman. And part of the reason there are so many dissatisfied white people in this country who are Democrats, my shirt, is because Joseph Biden did that. He elevated a black woman. Instead of, now they're saying, oh, Whitmer, and they're saying all these other names and all this other stuff. I'll tell you what's interesting about that. Barack Obama elevated a white woman. He elevated Hillary, and white people rejected her. President Biden elevated a black woman. 1.4 points is what she lost by. So anyway, again, I'm sort of rambling, but as a writer, the character arc of Donald Trump is utter and complete trash. The character arc of Bernard Sanders is incomplete, and it won't be complete. He's done. It won't be complete. And the character arc of Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is the arc that makes the story complete and is one that readers like, and that in the real world, white people, especially white men, should aspire to.
I put ties in this bitch. I put ties in your face. Yeah, put you like a lady.